Hello and good afternoon. I don't know if anyone's here. I don't know if anyone's. You're probably busy working. You're probably busy doing whatever you're busy doing. But I thought I would say hello to you all. Good afternoon from the garden. More visitors arriving. Some wonderful English people, lovely friends coming for lunch. But yes, there are two people here. Can you hear me? I don't know. Can you hear me? Because sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. So we'll soon know if you can hear me. But anyway, I just thought I would come and say hello and good afternoon to you all because there we are. Bluebell says hi. Hello to Bluebell. Cheers to you, Bluebell, and happy Monday. Yes, I did put the wrong date on my thing yesterday, but the wrong day of the week, but obviously completely brain dead. Every day becomes the same when you're in this place because the sun shines and the wine flows, doesn't it? So there we go. Hello from Melbourne to Bluebell. Yes, loud and clear. Good morning. Hello to you. We love having our Australian visitors, and obviously coming live at this time of day is better for you because of the time difference, I guess. I won't be speaking for too long, but I hopefully won't be interrupted by early arrivals like yesterday. So I do intend to speak for a little while. Yes, the world is there's lots going on in the world. If you have chance to read the obituary of Richard Vines, a lovely gentleman who I used to know in the Telegraph today. Richard was formerly a rail announcer, and he became the Bloomberg restaurant critic. He was a very colourful man. I didn't know him that well, but he was a very good friend of my late friend, Russell Norman, who ran restaurants. Paul Russell tragically died also. A very great tragedy, his death. He was a wonderful restaurateur. He worked at the Ivy and Joe Allen's, and he worked at Zuma, and he owned a chain called Polpo, and he wrote things about Venetian food. He was a lovely gentleman, and Richard Vines was a very witty and wacky character. We liked Richard very much. So the obituary today was very good, and also the obituary of Sir Tom Farmer, a fabulous Scottish man, Mr. Quickfit, and he did. He created an amazing set of businesses. He was a truly great person. So, two great people whose obituaries are in the Telegraph today. I do enjoy reading obituaries because you learn so much from an obituary. You even about people you tend to know. You don't find out that things can be quite different. So anyway, I'm here in the garden. Someone has just descended the stairs, but I can't do anything because I'm not going to be interrupted in my broadcast at this moment. Yesterday I was interrupted by an early arrival. German people do tend to arrive at parties early. That's what they do. So that's to be known. People from Essex, we had some people from Essex as well. They take their wine away with them when they leave. I didn't know that was a party trick that would be ever done. They brought wine and then they took the bottle away with them. I thought that was a curious form of action. I've never come across people taking wine to a party and then taking it away. Very odd behavior. Right. Hello to Leslie in California. Well, you're up very early for California because it's very, very early. It's very late. Well, I suppose it's late at night in California right now. I know 9 a.m. in California is 5 p.m. in Britain because that's when I used to have my phone calls with Maurice, the Sky Vodka tycoon, because that was when he would wake up, basically. Right. Hello from Sweden to Jonas. Yes, well, hello to you in Sweden. No more Mr. Vine. I'm very sorry to say, Mr. Vine. Richard Vines is his name, not Jeremy Vine. We're talking about Richard Vines, who... right. The door is blowing around, so boom goes the door. Sorry about that. Right. It's 11:28 in North Wales. Well, it's very nice for it being 11:28 in North Wales. So hello to all of you in North Wales. Whereabouts in North Wales are you? Lady Min loves her whales, so she's got a place on the border of Wales, Hay on Wye. So there we go. Um, yes, they took the wine. Yes, I did think it was a little a bit of a strange thing, a form of behaviour. I've never ever come across that before. In Broadstairs, there was a strange couple also. They said, "We hear you're having a dinner party," and they said, "We will be attending." And they said, "We only drink wine that starts at £10 a bottle." I purposely served them the £5 a bottle stuff, and everybody else got the other. Um, they didn't know because I'd poured them into the same bottles. So I did pull a trick on them. They didn't get away with that little trick. And then Min has a friend, a dreadful woman. I won't give her name, but this dreadful woman once brought a quarter of a bottle of wine round. Cheap, nasty, horrible New Zealand wine that was very, very. It was. I didn't, and she brought a quarter of a bottle of wine. Can you imagine doing that at a party? You bring a quarter of a bottle of wine. She said, "That's all I've got." Well, she could have stopped at a shop. She was in Kensington and Chelsea. There are plenty of wine shops. She was just stingy beyond belief, this particular woman, and she is awful. She's known as the bog brush. She's a very unpleasant woman. My late friend Wilbur Smith and his wife could not stand her. My friend Sir George Sitwell could not stand her. Nobody likes this horrible woman. She is the kind of person you wouldn't want at a party, but she brings a quarter of a bottle of wine. What's that all about? You don't go to someone's house and take a quarter of a bottle of wine, and nor do you go to someone's house and take the wine that you brought and take it back. I thought that was very odd. Maybe it's an Essex party trick. I have lots of wonderful friends from Essex, by the way, so I'm not criticizing people of Essex. Maybe it's nothing to do with Essex. Maybe it's just this weird couple and how weird they were. But anyway, put it this way, they won't be invited again. That's the end of that. Right. You like Argentinian wine? Well, I love Argentinian wine. I'd love to visit Argentina one day. Lots of wonderful things, apart from, Eva Peron and, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, and all of that. Lots of wonderful things. So there we go. It sounds like they're just cheap. Yes, I think they were just cheap. Very odd. And they said we only and they only drank rosé as well, and I hadn't bought any rosé because most of my guests like white wine or red wine or whiskey or gin or beer. So we have all of that in the house, and I just had forgotten to buy rosé because I didn't think about it. So very odd, isn't it? Anyway, people can there's now as queer as folk, as they say. So cheers to the people who drink white wine, red wine, and gin. That's what I say. There we go. Right. Okay. Have you any questions whilst we're going? We may as well have a few questions. I've got about 20 minutes to talk with you about things. So we'll have a little chitter chatter and, it's quite nice. You love gin, says Jean. Jean who loves gin. Jeannie the Ginny. There you go. You go together. You sound like you're perfect together. Have I been to Australia? No, I've never been. My mother spends a lot of time in Australia, and other members of the family have, but I've never been to Australia yet. But I hope to go to Australia one day. I would absolutely love to. I've got many friends there. I was involved with an Australian drinks company. I very much enjoyed my time with them. And, it'd be nice to spend some time again with Australians. So I love my Australian friends. I've got some great ones who do. They're very hardworking people, Australians. I know Australians who work in the wine industry. I know Australians who do also. I have a friend who was from Texas, and he happened to marry the daughter of Gina Reinhardt, the mad Gina. Gina is a complete mad woman, not a very pleasant woman. And then, she earned about, I believe at one point she earned about, £250 a second or something, or some crazy sum. She's one of the richest women in the world. She's one of the fattest women in the world as well. She's not a very great looker, is old Gina. And she's very mean to her employees at her mining company. She steals towels from hotels. She steals the bed, all sorts of things. So I'm told. And I got stuck with her and her daughter during the time of well, no, with her daughter and her then husband, my friend, during the Icelandic the ash thing, so the volcanic ash. So that's how I got to know the daughter. But then she ran off with a security guard. So bizarre, bizarre people. Um, would I like to go to New Zealand? Yes, I'd like to go to New Zealand. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. It's a little hard to look at with the sunlight upon me. So, yes, the sunlight does get in the way of me looking at the screen. I probably look like a complete Burke on this channel, but here we are. Yes. Um, Good morning to everyone, says Teresa. Good morning to Teresa. Good morning. Have we had Buckfast tonic wine? I know of it, but I've never tried it, so I don't know. I've never tried it, no. Um, right. Do I exercise? I like to walk, yes. Walking is the best form of exercise. The late, great Tom Stutterford of the Times newspaper always said walking is the best form of exercise. So you must walk. I like to walk. I do enjoy a good walk. I don't walk enough, but I would like to walk more. So there we go. Yes, it's an early party. Yes. Well, we like to enjoy ourselves, and I work all morning, and I get up very early, and I do my work, and then I do a bit more to be sure. So there we go. It's very early here in California. Well, we love California. You know, your governor, Gavinator, Gavin Newsom. I used to know him well when he was mayor of San Francisco. I haven't seen him in a number of years, but you know, I hope he will do something good to help the Menendez brothers. The Menendez brothers should be free, and it's coming up to the time when things are starting to be reviewed. We want the Menendez brothers out of prison. I want Jeremy Bamber out of prison, and I want a number of others. Omar Benguit, I want him out of prison. I want Mark Alexander out of prison. I want Lucy Letby kept in prison and made to stay there till she dies. I think I will find that I fail in that mission, but because she's got so many high-profile supporters, I cannot stand the disgusting groupies of Lucy Letby. So shame on you, Nadine Dorries, you disgraceful woman. Shame on you, David Davis, you disgraceful man. Shame on you, Peter Hitchens, you disgusting man. Shame on you, Lord Sumption, also. I thought you were a sensible man, but you've lost the plot. You've gone completely off the grid. You're completely nuts. I don't care for supporters of Lucy Letby. Lucy Letby belongs in the clink. Lock her up and throw away the key. And as for her weird parents, there's something very odd about those two. I'm not great fans of them either. There we go. So there we are. Gavin Newsom has finally come out and said that men shouldn't be playing on women's sports teams. So I regard that as a big step forward. Precisely. We don't want any more of this woke nonsense. Woke wazzackery has taken over our world. We don't need woke wazzackery in our world. We need sense. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. You know, you can't change your chromosomes. It's ridiculous. And well done to the wonderful, wonderful J.K. Rowling for, you know, daring to be cancelled by these people. She doesn't need the money anyway. She really couldn't give two hoots about what they have to say. And I say good to her and the wonderful Sharon Davis, the sportswoman, for standing up for, you know, a woman's sport should be a woman's sport, and a man's sport should be a man's sport. And why don't they just have LGBTQ plus XYZ and whatever else goes along with it? You know, why don't they have their own? If they wanted to have something different, you know, the woman in Broadstairs who wanted to be a dragon, why shouldn't she have a dragon sports team? If that's what she wants to be. Stop interfering with other people. Leave them alone. Enough is enough. I am not going to be cancelled myself. I will continue to speak out, and I will continue. I don't care that I think everybody should be respectful of people who want to be different. There is nothing wrong with being gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, straight. There is nothing wrong with being straight. If you want to be just an ordinary person, straight ordinary person, good for you. Why can't but straight people don't have straight pride, but these people are now demanding they have these bathrooms. Well, it's good that the law has defined it, and it's one good thing that's happened under Keir Starmer's government. Not much good happens under his bloody government. He's a disgrace. The farmer harmer Starmer, raving Rachel Reeves, that dreadful Angela Rayner who goes around on all these LGBTQ plus XYZ nonsense. Look, be whatever you want to be. I have no problem with anyone. We should never hurt other people, but all of this nonsense about sport. Sorry, you can't have people who are born men, competing against women. It's not fair. It's incorrect. It's wrong. So there we go. Yes. Rachel from accounts. I'm a breath of fresh air, says Jean. Well, I do tend to speak out. I'm very sorry. I'm not beige. I don't do beige. I'm not vanilla. I have an opinion and I will voice it. I don't care. And I'm not going to be told I'm not allowed to use certain words on the internet because that's a load of nonsense as well. I will speak with my truth, and if I get cancelled, I get cancelled, don't I? But I am, just somebody who likes to have rationality, reason, and sense and sensibility. I think that is something we need more of in the world. We need less of this nonsense. We don't need the woke wazzicry. Woke has gone too far. Woke has taken over our planet. Why don't we just celebrate wonderful things? Why can't we? Why do we have to complain about people like Roald Dahl? Because he said some bigoted things. No, he wrote wonderful books. Okay, his private opinions were his own. I don't know whether his views were right or wrong, and I'm not saying he was right or wrong. He came from a different generation. Different people have differing views, and we have to celebrate those kind of things. What are my thoughts on the JFK case? Well, it's just one grand conspiracy, isn't it? It's a load of all sorts of nonsense. I don't know. Who knows? Donald Trump was going to release all the files as he was with Ghislaine and Jeffrey. What's he done? Nothing. He's just another part of the cover-up of everything. Yeah, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Let things be, let them be. It's the past. It's not really. Why don't we think about things in the current? That's what I think are more important. I think we want to know why we haven't revealed who Ghislaine trafficked these people to. Ghislaine has been convicted, but what about the people she trafficked to? Why haven't they been convicted? And, we've got some big famous names out there, including President Trump, including President Clinton, including many, many others who are in the firing squad. So let's have them brought to justice if that's the case. Let it be. Not everybody who was in that address book is guilty of anything, but lovely Peter Mandelson, now the British ambassador to Washington, hanging out in the White House with Donald Trump only last week. How many times did he holiday and spend time with Jeffrey Epstein after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted? This is an astounding state of affairs. It's ridiculous. Look, he was with him in Paris, New York. He was with him in London. He was with him in little St. James and big St. James, or great St. James. He was with him in all of those places, Peter Mandelson. And he phoned him whilst he was in the prison. A British cabinet minister phoning a prisoner. Is this man warped of mind, or is he just stupid? There we go. So that is that. Right. Yes, I'm right about Trump, says one of you. Well, Look, Donald Trump is shaking up the world, but Donald Trump is not Mr. Innocent. And let's remember, where was Melania first? Melania was with Jeffrey and Ghislaine. You know, she is associated with them, just like Naomi Campbell and, you know, another one. She was with Flavio and her blood diamonds, and Nasty Naomi is one of the nastiest ones on the planet. I cannot stand her. She's up there with Meghan, me, Gain, and what is it with this Meghan? I'm starting to think she's very warped of mind. We always knew that, but she's got something completely wrong with it. Why does she put up pictures of the back of her head and the back of her children's head? It's just weird. Why would you do that? You don't pose for a picture with the back of your head. Every picture is the back of the head. She's the back. She's the back door. You know, we know what she is. Briefcase girl. She's a complete lunatic, this Meghan. And I haven't spoken to Samantha in a while because she changed her phone number, and I've got to find a new one. But I will be contacting her and we'll have an opinion. But, you know, I believe Thomas Markle has moved to the Philippines and he wants to seek out a quieter life because he's had enough. Well, if you had a daughter like her, deranged, and that awful deranged Doria who, we wonder where she spent a few years. Doria, yeah, we know about her. Not a good one. You think that I am far too sure of yourself and you can't accept opinions can be incorrect, says Joseph Stalin. Well, you'll call Mr. Stalin. You're the one trying to stop me having an opinion, so why don't you bog off, whoever you are? You sound like a complete bloody bore. I'm not interested in your opinion, but you're entitled to your opinion. I don't mind that people have differing opinions. I have many friends who think very differently to me, and I accept their opinions. I have my friend June who loves Boris and Brexit. I don't love Boris and Brexit. But June and I get on like a house on fire. We are great friends, and I love my June, but I don't love you because you sound like a complete bore and a complete baloney talker. I don't like you, whoever you are. So if you don't like my channel, you have the right to leave. Why don't you bog off? I needed to do a good bog off to somebody. So there you go. You've got a bog off. Yes. Was Meghan a yacht girl? Yes, I believe she was. I've had plenty of evidence that she was on yachts with Prince Andrew, and she was also involved in a thing called the Yacht Week with her little mate Omid Scooby-Doo, who's thankfully vanished. Nobody wants him around anymore. He's gone very quiet, hasn't he? His companies are in lots of trouble, I believe, and no more Scooby-Doo. Scooby off. Yes, Scooby-Doo, yes. Doria the jailbird, yes. Well, we don't like Doria, do we? Doria Ragland. She sounds like an old rag anyway. Never met her, but I don't want to meet her. And I don't think she'd ever want to meet me. So the feeling is probably mutual. There's all sorts of stories coming out about Virginia. I will have to read those later and talk about them later. So I won't be talking about them now. But there are stories coming into me about Virginia right now. So I don't know what is going on, but there we are. And I will have to go soon because our guest will be arriving in 10 minutes. But have you any more questions before I go? Any more questions? Any questions? Yes, the back of the heads. Yes, we don't like Meghan and her back of the head photo. It's not really, I don't think it's a trend that's going to take off, Meghan. So you're not really influencing anyone. Or, like your stupid jam, why don't you throw it in the proverbial? That's where it belongs. There we go. You like the good morning bog off. Well, hopefully he won't come back. I don't want the person who calls himself Stalin to come back, whoever you are. You are just a troll. You're a tedious pain in the neck. Go away. Go and take it to wherever you belong. So, no, shove it up your jumper. Precisely. Linz, you're completely right. That's the right thing to say to Stalin. Stalin was a very evil man. So if you're going to use the name on the internet, Stalin, are you really that clever, or are you just a Burke? You're just a complete prat. Go back and leave me alone. Thank you. Don't need you. I love all the other wonderful listeners and viewers, and there are lots of you here. And thank you for all the likes, and thank you for all your support. And yes, what will happen with the P. Diddy trial? God only knows. He's another lunatic. He sounds like a complete madman. And as for this Kanye West or Yee or whatever he calls himself and his Hitler videos, the man is completely disgusting. He is revolting. Poor Kim Kardashian. You know, I never thought I'd feel sorry for Kim Kardashian, but now I do. I feel sorry for Kim Kardashian and her children, because having that weirdo in your life must have been bloody weird. Absolutely awful. And yeah, I'm sorry, I keep trying to look at the screen, so when I go down like this, it's because I'm trying to read your comments, because the angle of the sun is anyway. Okay, well, any final points before I go? There we go. Any final points? Right. Okay. Well, I keep getting missives coming in about Virginia, so I don't know what something is happening with the world of Virginia Roberts and well, the late Virginia Roberts. May she rest in peace. So there we go. You feel that you're outside your own country today. Okay, well, anyway, I will say thank you very much and have a lovely afternoon. And I will say we hope to see you again later tonight for another show. Take care. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you.